Cyclops is a duelist. We were so close to greatness the first 2 tank season, but just have to wait a little bit longer. Hopefully not forever, but you never know. Patch notes for this guy, well, patch notes for his season, I guess, are out, so let's get into it. Tier list time. It's been a wild season. Season 8.0. It honestly has. Tanking is almost at an all-time low. Throwers and cheaters are pretty much an all-time high. The game is fun, but it takes so much effort to be fun. It's almost not worth the return. Anyway, enough of the depressive stuff. Let's actually pick up some moods here. We'll start with tanks as always, and hopefully that can lift my spirits a little bit. Way too late. This is 8.0. This is 8.5 prediction, but that should be obvious. I haven't played much, so that's why my rank is what it is. Alright, starting off strong. Strange is at least S tier. He's amazing right now. His team up is fantastic. I don't know how much more I have to say. And he's not getting any adjustments, you know? So, like, I don't think he's going anywhere. Hulk, you can't solo tank. Unfortunately, that's still the name of the game. So he's got to be A. Honestly, as balanced as tanks are right now. No, right now, Hulk has to be B. I'm gonna be honest. I like to rank the on-release ones first, but we have to do this. Let's just get this over done with. Devil Dinosaur is the great divider right now. It is. If he's not banned, everything changes. Hulk gets absolutely shredded by Devil Dino. He cannot play the game. You jump into the back line, Dino grabs you, and you're done. You jump anywhere near him, he grabs you and you're done. There's nothing you can do on Hulk. You pop the shield and Hulk just dies. Hulk can do nothing against Dino. Strange can do something against Dino. I know he can be grabbed, but he can get out of it, at least, relatively easily. Hulk just takes too much time to load up the jump after being grabbed. You know, you can use your bubble and try to load it up. You have to be really good. He's not an F, mind you, he's not an F tier, but Dino's just going to take him down. The nerfs to Dino, I'm going to say, are going to put Hulk back in A, because Dino may not be a perma pick next season, but we'll see. This is at least a change I'm comfortable making. Groot is S tier as well. I think Strange is better than Groot right now. Hot take. Groot's still amazing. He can't be picked up, but Strange's shield works with and against the Dino. He works with the Dino because if you have Devil Dino, they have Devil Dino. And the whole point of body blocking comes into play with Strange's shield. If the enemy Devil Dino gets behind you, just put up your shield and they die. Okay? He just needs constant healing, and if he's not getting that, he dies. Okay? Strange is amazing right now. He might be one above all next season. I'll have to list the rest of the tanks before I get there, but Dino is absolutely one above all right now. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Penny, surprisingly A tier. Groot, I think, is going to still be S tier. Surprisingly A tier for Penny. Dino has made her a lot better. Dino both can do nothing against Penny, and she is his best ally. The whole grab and bring into mines thing is absolutely amazing, you know? So, I'm a big fan of it. I've done it on both sides. I think it's great. I highly recommend it, especially because he's about to be nerfed. Hopefully not into the ground, but he's at least about to be nerfed. So, Penny got a huge buff with Devil Dino, and I hope now that they're nerfing him slightly, she'll see some more play and she can actually be used, you know? Magneto's at least S tier. I think he's going to be absurd next season. Absolutely absurd. His ultimate ability now will last for another second and will deal another 50 damage when fully charged. That will kill every support besides White Fox in her ult. That's absurd. That's insane. You know what you're doing? Magneto's going to be crazy. I think that, you know, Gambit's getting nerfs, and the Rogue Gambit team-up got some nerfs. Magneto team-up didn't change at all. You know, I'll go down and I'll check real quick, but yeah, no. Just the Rogue team-up. Rogue team-up got some changes, but Magneto's stays exactly the same. So, Mag's gonna be amazing. Venom, A tier. Hard to solo tank on. Need I say more? Thor, sleeper pick. Also very good. I think right now he's definitely better than Penny. Dive is meta, so I think Venom is better. Tried to have a brawl meta with Dino. Kinda worked, kinda didn't. Now he's getting nerfed. I don't know if we're gonna get brawl to become dominant again. I think Dive is still in full swing. I don't know, we'll find out. But, I mean, Thor works well with Dino. He does something very similar. We'll find out. The tanks are very balanced right now. The tanks are, like, pretty consistent. I might actually bump Hulk back down to B just for balancing sake. He's good, don't get me wrong, but, like, we can't have everyone in A, and we can't have everyone in S. We'll find out. Cap is great. Another support ult. Hard to solo tank with. Another problem, if you have two tanks, which actually Dino has promoted some more two tanking, I'll put him up in S. If you have one tank, he goes back down to A. But I will say there's more two tanks recently than just all the solo tanking, right? There's a lot more than there used to be. It's not every game, of course, but there's definitely a lot more than there used to be, and I think Dino helped a lot with that. Thing, we all know what you pick the thing for. It's for dive. And then divers can't play the video game. Emma is really solid. I think Emma will continue to be really solid. Yeah. I think a Mag Emma season is very possible next season. There's some good tanks right now. There's some really good tanks right now. And a lot of them are only getting better. I'm gonna put Penny back down to B for sake of balancing. Angela's going up to A. Angela's probably bottom of A because everything counters her now, but she's getting some decent buffs for next season. So I'm gonna give her benefit of the doubt. They look pretty good. Reduce her shift from 6 to 4 seconds, give her the 50 health back to her shield, and then it recovers faster and she can use it a lot faster. Like, those are some good buffs. We'll see if it makes any meaningful difference, but it looks like those are some meaningful buffs. As always, Rogue is good, amazing with the team up, but fine without, probably B tier without, S tier with, so you meet in the middle, you hit A. She's getting some buffs next season, decreasing some cooldowns, doing some energy consumption stuff. Will it make a ton of difference? I don't know. But they're massively nerfing her team up, which has been a large part of her value. So I don't want to put her any higher. I'm going to leave her as is. We'll find out. The biggest tragedy is tank pool. Tank pool is still playable. Okay? Don't let the propaganda get you. He's still very playable. But you have to know what you're doing. Like Hulk, you have to know what you're doing. And you have to upgrade the right way. You have to have a specific playstyle. Otherwise, you just don't do much value. You just don't get much value at all on the guy. So he's, unfortunately, B. He's fallen from grace. It's true. I love the guy. I think he deserves better, but he needs a specific lineup, and he can't just run in anything anymore. It is what it is. Now for the big boy. The nerfs that they're giving him, remove the knockdown effect from Impact Beam. I think that's a massive nerf. That was a huge part of his ability. Basically completely countered Angela entirely. I'm actually going to put Angela here, because I think Venom's going to be better than her still. Now he can't counter flyers. I think that's fine. It's disappointing, of course, but I think it's going to be fine, honestly. Increase the buddy barrier cooldown from 10 to 12. That's not that meaningful of a difference. It's 2 seconds, yes, it could make the difference, but in most engagements, like, you're waiting for a specific time to use it anyway. So I don't think that one's a big deal. The serious problem is reduced percentage damage per second of the bleed from 3% to 1.5%. That could kill him. That could actually kill him. He's not going to be one above all. He's somewhere in here. I don't know how confident I am that he's going to be any higher than bottom of S, unfortunately. I still think he's going to be very, very pick or ban, honestly, because he does separate himself from the rest of the tanks and really just annihilates. But, you know, that bleed could make the difference and could make it so you cannot live, you know? A lot of the Dino playstyle doesn't revolve around the overhealth, though. The overhealth, you know, the overshield value is nice, but it's not going to be the difference whether you live or whether you die most of the time. If you're going to die, you're going to die, okay? If you're going to live, you're going to live. So, it may do everything, it may do nothing. I think he'll probably be here if I had to take a wild guess, I think Groot will probably be better than him, because Groot's just a very solid pick. And I think Mag's going to take our pick for one above all tanks. That ult change is going to make a serious difference. I really do. I really do think so. Anyway, onto the Cyclops role. I'm not salty. Definitely not. I mean, you can play Iron Man, but it's not great. No Iron Man changes, no. Moving on. Spidey. I mean, it's dive season. He's bannable. I see him banned a lot. Yeah. If people have experience on him and know what they're doing, he can definitely be a menace, a web-headed menace. Namor is the exact same way. I think he's honestly better at the moment, though, because he has the Hela team up. He's very anti-dive, and he just does a ton of damage. Like, seriously does a ton of damage. I'm seeing him banned in, like, every other game. And yes, I know I'm in Plat, but still, like, every other game is a little crazy. It's a little much in my opinion. So, I think he's doing good. I think he's doing very well. Black Panther, you gotta know what you're doing. Magic, you gotta know what you're doing. Storm is really easy to counter. Not forgiving at all. You have to have just perfect line of sight, perfect a lot of things, and you gotta be near your teammates because your effects are a bubble around you. So if you go too high, then you get no effects for your teammates. If you're too low, you can be shot. So Storm, I think, has fallen off. She's kind of in a free fall right now, which is ironic. Star-Lord is amazing. Will he remain amazing? Is a good question. Namor's actually getting a buff. I didn't remember that. Greater frequency, increase cooldown reduction when Trident of Neptune hits enemies from 1 to 1.3. I think that's his right click. Could be wrong about that. It's either his left or his right click. Either way, that's great. Namor buff. He's already great. I mean, can't complain. Star-Lord, they're making him more of an up-close brawler. I do think that's going to take him from, you know, absolute top to maybe a little lower. But I mean, he got the ammo change. It didn't affect his ult like we thought it would. It's still gonna be great. I don't think this is going to change all that much. You just gotta play him a little closer, which you already play him close to use a Z, so there's not a problem there. No changes to Punisher. Punisher is just a very solid character. Good for dive if you know what you're doing. Good for anti-dive. He's been amazing with Devil Dino. We'll see how Devil Dino shakes that up. But, I mean, I see him banned occasionally. Basically, if people want to play Dino, they ban Punisher. Because Poke is one of the biggest, you know, counters to Dino. I'm gonna put Magic in front of Panther. I think it's fitting. I just think Magic gets you more immediate value than Panther does. I might even move Magic up to B. Depends on who else I put in B. Moving on, Scarlet Witch. I think you can probably get more value out of her right now than Storm. I'm gonna give benefit of the doubt to Iron Man players, which needs something. She's not getting it. Hopefully they change that. Hela's good. She's not S tier. Does a lot of damage, enables the Namor team up, but there's too many S tier DPS. It is what it is. Bucky, B tier, you gotta know what you're doing. Psylocke, dive, so she's A, otherwise I'd say B. Only because dive is meta, is Psylocke in A tier, but you can do some good stuff with her. Now a real change. Moon Knight is very much so an S tier hero right now. And they're really affecting him. They're really changing him. His single shot damage is going down, his Moonblade damage is going down, and the Ankh bounces. You know, just after he hits one person, it bounces around after that. That's going down too. I don't think he'll be awful, but I really think he'll be A. I don't think he'll be what he was before. Yeah. Hawkeye can't do dive. Squirrel Girl, unfortunately, I mean, you can get value with her, she just has a very low ceiling. Iron Fist, you gotta know what you're doing. He's a harder character to use. I might even put him in A. Is Fist getting any buffs? I don't think so. No. I think he's A. I think that's fine. I think he's probably... Do I want to say top of A? I mean... I don't. I don't want to say top of A. I want to say bottom of A. I think even with Moon Knight changes, I think he's still bottom of A. Alright. What we kept the failed tier for? Widow needs something. Something bad. She needs something bad. I don't know, man. They gotta do something. Because this character is... I mean, she's been D tier or worse since the game came out. And if you have like 17 factors lined up in the perfect way, and your aim is good, you can get some pretty decent value out of her. But that's the point. Every character should have an opportunity to get value. It shouldn't be this difficult, though. She needs something to change. At the moment, she's just not in a good spot. So, I'm putting her officially failed. I think the devs have failed her. I think she needs something, and she's not getting it. Wolverine. Wolverine is getting a new team-up. Wolverine is really good against Devil Dino. It's good against Soul Tanks. Just very solid character, very amazing character. I don't see him banned. Maybe I'll put him top of A, actually, for that reason alone. I just don't see him banned. I think he deserves S, but, like, no one remembers that he exists, and then a tank comes out, and then everyone plays him for, like, a day, and then no one remembers he exists again. Every tank player should have a Wolverine in their back pocket, because you know how annoying this guy is, so you know how to play him. And then you can be a menace to other tanks. You know, it's a little BM, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Mr. Fantastic, there's a tank shortage. Moving on. Johnny Storm, no one plays. Is he getting changes? I think he's getting changes. Reduce Flaming Meteor from 20 to 15. Plasma Body. Single Charge from 10 to 8. Good buffs. I mean, I've been saying this for a while. He's not bad. He just literally no one plays him. He has the lowest pick rate in the game. No one plays him. So it's hard to find a sample size for a character no one uses. You know? He's C tier. I think he's getting better. I think more and more things, they're just going to keep stacking it on and on and on until he becomes an absolute menace again. But no one's playing him, so they'll never find out. Let's get this out of the way with. Yeah. And then what? They're making her so you have to do closer range damage. That's not going to change anything. That's like the Star-Lord change. That's not going to do a thing. Alright. More blade buffs. I don't know what to tell you, man. You can play them if you want to. You can leave your friends behind. I'm gonna be honest, I think Magic deserves better than these guys. I think she does. I think Bucky's better than her, but Bucky and Magic are both in that camp of like, I mean, Bucky, Magic, and Fantastic, honestly. They're all in the camp of like, oh, well, I just need this thing, so I'll choose this character and it'll work, right? I just need a tank, so I'll choose Fantastic and it'll work. I just need a diver, I'll choose Magic and it'll work. Oh, I just need a hit scan character. I'll just choose Bucky and it'll work, right? It'll be fine. But that kind of tanks their win rate because it's not fine. You need to know what you're doing, and then people just assume, yeah. People just assume that you're going to get a ton of value just by choosing the character, when that's not how this game works. You actually have to play them. And then they just tank the win rate. Even though I think Magic has like the highest win rate in the game. So, I don't know. You gotta know what you're doing with these characters. They're not an insta-win. They can get a ton of value. They can be S tier when the right person is playing them. Hence the crazy win rate for Magic. And I think there's been a crazy win rate for Magic for like every season. But you can't just choose them and the game will play it for you. That's not how that works. Daredevil, also crazy broken. Daredevil's getting more nerfs again. I don't know if that'll change much. I still think he will be banned, if not for the PTSD that support players have. Duelist Deadpool. Now this one's interesting because I can actually put them together, the Deadpools. Yeah, Duelist Deadpool is very similar to Bucky, Magic, Mr. Fantastic. It's just B tier. Like, you gotta know what you're doing. If you know what you're doing, they can be absolute menaces, absolute just nukes on the team. You can wipe out the entire team, but you have to know what you're doing. And if you know what you're doing, you can be great. If you don't know what you're doing, the character will kind of flop and you won't bring much value. And that's just amplified even more so with C tier. Because in C tier, you make one mistake and you die. Right? You make one mistake and you fail. D tier, you're just destined to fail. You know, and if anyone even looks at you, you die. You just pop. But yeah, and then F tier is just for the vibes. Elsa Bloodstone is getting a slight bump, the absolute tiniest buff anyone has ever seen. Oh boy, what a change. Next. I don't need to say anything. Dominant. Absolutely crazy dominant character. Possibly the strongest character the DPS roster that they let loose and let run for a whole season. Yeah, I mean, to say much about that. What she's going to be, though, is interesting. Remove a charge, changing it to a cooldown, reduce phantom pursuit damage, increase costs, nerf the ultimate like crazy. Who knows? I'm gonna put her in S tier with Spidey. I'll put her below the Titans of DPS here, and who knows? You know, we'll find out. Early predictions of Cyclops and recent characters have been broken, so I'll put him in S tier. What? For one above all, duelist. I mean, it looks like Phoenix is on top, but let's be real. Phoenix has been on top. Like, Phoenix has been on top for a while, so is what it is. I don't think she's going anywhere. Oh boy, now you gotta be a little bit closer to do any damage, trying to encourage Brawl, but nerf the Brawl tank. Who knows, man? Cyclops could be one above all. With the track record, he probably will be, but we'll find out. And that's all I can say, is we'll find out. Luna Snow. Getting no changes. Luna comes down to how you play her. Luna Iron Fist shippers are losing their minds right now. Luna comes down to how you play her. It's true. It's always been true. Especially true now. They gave her DPS damage and still has healing like a main support. If you play her as a damage dealer, she's S tier. You play her as a main healer, she's like A tier or so. She's even better if you play her as a DPS with the White Fox team up. You know, she's crazy. She's really good anti-dive. She might go up to S tier, I'm gonna be honest, but for now I'm gonna put her in A tier and we'll see where things go. I think there's just too many S tier supports right now. Loki, S tier. I honestly think he's bottom of S tier though, because the big supports right now, like their ultimates don't, well, I take that back. Some of the big supports are moving away from ultimate play and more into just kit play, right? Like Loki taking White Fox's ultimate is not as worthwhile as Loki taking Cloak and Daggers, or even Rockets, or Adam Warlocks especially, you know? Like, Loki would really find a hard time if it was a White Fox Jeff meta or something. Simply because those are just not the best ultimates to steal, you know? I honestly think he's kind of on the downturn at the moment if support ultimates, that is, keep going the way they're going. Quick tinfoil hat theory: when they released Devil Dino, they released 3 tank skins. When they're releasing Cyclops, they released 3 DPS skins. Tank DPS kind of looks like there's going to be a support at the beginning of next season with 3 support skins. Who knows? But if that support, that strategist ultimate is different and does not lend to Loki, he may go down to A tier. But, you know, who knows? That Lady Loki swimsuit skin could shoot her right back up. Rocket's in S tier. Rocket's been amazing. Absolutely crazy with the Dino against the Dino. He's been everywhere right now. Groot's still incredibly meta. Still gets banned a lot. I'm gonna be honest, I think I might switch these two finally. Simply because Doctor Strange doesn't get banned much. He gets banned by those couple lunatics who think that they want to ban Strange and don't want to have to worry about a portal, and then they need a portal. But besides those people, no one banned Strange. For that reason alone, I put Groot higher. That might even be the determining factor in Dino being above Strange as well. I'll think about it. But Rocket right now is incredible with and against Dino, with Groot. Against a lot of divers, he's got some really good damage. He's got a really good ult, you know, damage dealing. He's very quick, very easy. What's not to love? He's hard to hit too. And the Revive. Revive's amazing with Dino. Revive's amazing with anyone. But you try to take down this angry wall of meat for so long, and then you do, just to find out he comes around the corner full health. It's not a good feeling. Trust me. I know. Mantis is she has a crazy high ceiling, but a pretty low floor, I think is the way I say it. Essentially, you can go very, very high with Mantis. You can do so much with Mantis, right? You can get to a point that almost no other support can get to. But at the exact same time, you can do less than any other support can as well. Most of the time, that usually evens out around A. Depending on how things go, she might stay in A, she might go down to B, honestly. I'll have to finish ranking some of these guys, and then I'll let you know. Adam Warlock is niche. He doesn't have a good team up, and team ups are everything for him. I mean, if you're cracked on him, great. If you're not, so be it. I think he might actually be C tier at the moment. I mean, everything is about dive, and Adam cannot be dove. He just cannot take it. He'll try to fly away, but I mean, if you're diving on Star-Lord, like, you're cooked. You're just done. Jeff's good. Jeff's good for and with and against dive. I don't know much more to say. Can I think about A tier? Let me be honest, if I put Jeff... Is Jeff better than Mantis? I think Jeff might be better than Mantis, at least as a full scale look at the game. Like, in the absolute, like, nosebleed part of comp, Mantis is probably better. But as a, you know, in general, as a whole for the game, I kind of think Jeff is better than Mantis. I think you just get more solid value if you pick Jeff than if you pick Mantis. I kind of hate to say it, but I think it's true. Cloak and Dagger is... S tier for now. We'll see about Rocket, where things go with him. She's actually getting a pretty solid buff for next season. Adam is too, but it's not... I don't think it's going to change much of anything, because his playstyle is not changing, and dive is such a dominant meta right now. Yeah. I think Cloak and Dagger might be pretty solid mid-season, though. Invisible Woman isn't getting any changes. She's still S tier. Her ult is great. Her ult's very solid. Pretty much always you'll get a invis double ult. Just seems to be the way of things. But she's just, probably the most solid, consistent support. Her and Cloak are like the go-to support picks for strategist players. Is what it is. They're Loki food. Just flat out, just straight up, they're Loki food. Ultron is sneakily making his way up. He's getting some nerfs though. Maximum drone attack from 35 to 30, firewall from 10 to 12, cooldown, and ultimate increase. I think the ultimate increase is the thing that really tanks him, because he was doing some pretty good work this season. You could do 2 support Ultron and be fine. With those nerfs, I'm going to take him down to B. It's unfortunate, but I think it's deserved. Now, here's the interesting one. Here's where he was, but Gambit's getting more nerfs to his ultimate. Reduced damage multiplier provided by the ultimate from 25 to 20%. Reduce movement speed from 40% to 30%. I've seen a handful of people saying that should be enough. Like, that should be, for all intents and purposes, enough to make this guy not permabanned. I kind of say I'll believe it when I see it, but, they might be right. They might genuinely be correct about that. For the sake of an upcoming character, I will put Gambit here. Thank you, Winzip. That's very helpful. For the sake of an upcoming character, I will put Gambit in S tier and not one above all. But, I really hope that he's not perma-banned, but just banned often. Because if he's only just banned often, that's still a big deal. That's still something that people care about. But he doesn't have to be perma-banned. I think there's definitely a better support now than Gambit, especially with these tune downs. Like, it's a big button, but it's not like the biggest button in the world now, as I heard someone say. Strategist Deadpool. I've been saying it. I think he's, sorry, right now I'm going to put him in B. I really wish I could just put them all 3 together, but I don't work like that. All Deadpools are B right now. You gotta know what you're doing, but they do good work if you know what you're doing. Deadpool Strategist is getting a very good buff though. His throw, right? His icon throw, his right click, I think, is getting a pretty serious upgrade. Like, a lot more healing for that upgrade. And he throws it 3 times with, when it's upgraded. That is 15 more healing per second when it's upgraded. Which is not a small amount. That is a pretty serious amount of healing, I gotta say. That could seriously make the difference. I could see a Stratpool Jeff backline. I could seriously see that. Now we get to the problem child. And soon to be the best support in the game. Alright. White Fox is getting a buff. Reduce the charm. Sorry, slight nerf, I guess. Reduce the charm and invincibility spell field radius of her Fox that she throws at people from 0.8 to 0.6. Wow, what a difference. She is the most dominant support at the moment, okay? Gambit does not compete. Gambit does not compete. His ultimate is leagues beyond her ultimate. But overall, as just a support, as just a strategist, White Fox is amazing. Cannot be, cannot be compared. And in the dive meta, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter what you think. Like, she's on top. There's no doubts about it. So, I think White Fox is definitely going to evolve for next season. I'm glad that that Black Cat is not the one to evolve for DPS anymore, because that was a problem. And if anyone even played an hour on that character, you were cooked. You were done. That was it. So, I'm very glad that's not going to be the case anymore. I'm a little sad about Dino, but, things are up and down. Hopefully he'll still be playable. I'm really hoping with this placement for next season that he will be very playable. But at this point I can only hope, and I can't say much besides just I can hope. So, with that being said, thanks for watching to the end. Obviously all of you are people who have watched this whole thing. Why would you be here if you haven't watched this whole thing? Of course. Yeah, I'm just lingering on this page right now. Try to get a shot with the mouse free. Yeah. Anyway, we'll see how he does. We'll see what happens. And good luck to you. Hopefully your games are not as bad as some of mine have been recently. Ignite the battle.